because over here, the gentleman here is getting ready for the first day of school. And y'all know how it was when we were growing up. Before you go to your first day of school, there's something that your parents were required to do before the first day of school. You always had to go get some new school clothes.
Amen, amen.
And one of the things that we did in the Skinner home, we would get these school clothes and we would lay them out. And boy, we said, man, when I wear this on the first day right here, we normally had the shoes laid out and everything. We were looking at, we had planned this gonna knock them dead right here when I put this combination. Who am I talking to here? You know what I'm talking about? Some of y'all did that before y'all came to church today. Y'all planned it. And so here it is. We've got the new clothes and we got them all spread out. But oftentimes we already got on some current clothes. And because we're at a point now where we're ready to get into the new clothes, we start taking off the old clothes and we'll just put them down anywhere. And I promise you, he's going to be well preserved. For the purposes of example, he's taking off the old. But the problem is, he put them on top of the clean clothes. And this is problematic because when you put them in a pile on top of the clean clothes, it's hard to tell the clean clothes. That's why our parents would always tell us to clean up our room so that we could separate the clean clothes from the dirty clothes. And God began to deal with me because he says some of us have done this to the change that he sent into our lives. And we took off some dirty clothes and we put them on top of the clean clothes. And the problem with this is when it's time to move into your change, you don't really know what to put on. Because you've mixed the old with the new. And the Bible is clear that you can't put new wine into old wineskins. So God began to deal with me and show me some things because he said sometimes we're squandering our change because we got too much stuff mixed in with the new stuff that he's trying to do in our lives. God dealt with me a little further. He says, we got to look at this a little further because sometimes the stuff that is old sometimes is folded nice and neat. And just because it's folded nice and neat, we'll think it's clean just because of the presentation. But everything that's folded ain't clean. We miss this sometimes. And so my mother, being a good mom, she taught us how to differentiate between clean clothes and dirty clothes. You can't just look at it and always tell whether it's clean. But Mama Skinner would go through the pile and tell us, say, baby, I can tell you whether this is clean or not. And she would do this. And she'd be like, no, that's dirty. And she'll say, that smells like it's been somewhere it wasn't supposed to be. And God began to show me, he said, we need to do our life the same way. Because some stuff we end up smelling just like it because we'll put dirty on top of clean. Sometimes we miss it because it don't have a spot. But sometimes we'll miss the stench looking for a spot. And God says, some things we got to examine a little bit closer so we can know what to put on. And when you put on the right stuff, it'll make you start acting different. It'll make you start living different, and you won't miss the change that God is trying to work in your life because you know how to examine what God is trying to do. Get this. God says some things in your life are change killers. And the only way to identify is you got to learn how to smell for the scent. How do you smell? You got to smell. Some stuff will kill your anointing if you don't know how to identify. Ain't nobody talking back to me in here. God says there is a need for us to identify the right clothes. It can't be too small, and it definitely can't be filthy, because if it is, it'll kill